Good morning, students. Good morning, students. So let us start today's class of Computer Science second year syllabus. In this class, I am going to take up with a new chapter, that is chapter 9, Constructors and Destructors. A very important chapter from the exam point of view and also for the career point of view. Okay, students? So let us start this chapter with the introduction part. So here in introduction part, you have to know some few concepts. So that is object. So object means what? It is a real-time entity which has a life. But what is a class? A class is a what? It is a collection of objects. Okay, students? So let us begin this chapter for this consideration. Okay, so it is sometimes convenient if an object can initialize itself when it is first created without the need to make a separate call to the member function. So here everything is dealing with this object. Is it right? Our concept is itself object oriented programming structures. Is it right? So whatever we study in the part B, so that is object oriented programming, will be interlinked with the concept called as object. So this object has to be initialized, it has to be created. How means? With the help of this constructors. Before and all, how we used to create? By just calling the member functions, we used to call the object, we used to initialize the object. Is it right? But in the case of this constructors, actually you can actually initialize the object without calling for this member functions. Okay, students? So next point, see here, automatic initialize is carried out special member function that is called as constructor. So this is the point you have to understand whenever it comes to introduction. So in introduction, you have to know what do you mean by object, okay, and what do you mean by class, okay, and object oriented programming entirely deals with this object. Therefore what you have to consider is, you have to consider a separate function call so that it will be calling the object. But here there is a automatic initialization of the object, so that is called as a constructor. Okay, students? So let us move on to the definition, actual definition, textbook definition for a constructor. A constructor is a special member function that is automatically called when an object is created. The purpose of the constructor is mainly initialize the member various classes. So main purpose behind this constructor is to initialize the members of the various classes. Okay, so how it will be done I'll be showing you through an example. Now just know the definition of a constructor. So constructor means what? It is a special member which automatically calls when an object is created. So what is the purpose behind that? To initialize the member various, to initialize the members of the class. Okay, students? So this is the definition of a constructor. Okay, so see, this is the general syntax for a constructor. So here always a constructor will start with a class and class name, and these are all what? This is a data member. This is what? Data member. So this is what? Constructor. So this is a constructor which you are going to discuss. Okay. See here. See, this constructor name, class name should be both same. Both should be same. This is the important point you have to know whenever you are discussing this constructor chapter. You have to actually keep in your mind that class name and constructor name should be the same thing. Okay, students? So this is the syntax for the constructor. Okay, so next I'll be showing the example for constructor. So here you can see class is what? A keyword. Sum is what? Class name. And here the sum is called constructor name, or it is constructor. So here you can see the class name and constructor names are both are same. Okay. So here just I am initializing one constructor so that one object is called. Okay. So this is the example for constructors. Okay students, so here this is a syntax and here this is a definition. Definition is what? A constructor is a special member function that is called automatically when an object is created. Okay students, so now I'll be discussing on characteristics of a constructor. See, first point is what? The name of the constructor is same as the name of the class. Okay students, so I have already said this. The name of the constructor must be the same name of the class. Okay. For example, in the above class name, sum is the class name and the function name is what? Sum. Is it right? See, here class name is what? Sum, and this is what? Member function name. So both are same. Is it right? So this is a constructor. A constructor, even though it is a function, has no return type. This is neither a value returning a function nor a void function. Even though it is a function, but it will never have a return type. It will never return a value. Okay students. So, for example, how that can be written is, for example, some function has no return type and has not even a void. Okay. So, this point you have to keep in your mind that constructor doesn't have any return type, and also it doesn't have any void function to be returned. Okay students. So next point is constructor should always be declared in the public section. Okay, because it has to initialize the object. Is it right students? So it has to be declared in the public section. See here, this is our constructor line. So where it is written actually? In the public part. So that is in the public side the constructor is initialized. Okay, so this is an important point. Next is constructors are executed automatically, that is never invoked. So they are executed when the objects are created. So this is an important point. When the objects are created, the constructors executes automatically. When there is no object is created, constructor cannot be executed. Okay, so this point you have to keep in your mind. Okay, next point, a class can have more than one constructor. However, all the constructor of the class should have the same name. Is it right? So, for example, in one class, I'll be having some function. Just a second, sum function, and in one other class we'll be having one more sum function. In another class we'll be having one more sum function. So this is what, there are many constructors, but the constructor's name should be the same. Okay students, and it is not possible to refer to the address of the constructor. Okay, so you never know the address where actually the constructor is there. Okay, the constructor makes an implicit calls to the operators new and delete when the memory allocation is required. So new is used and delete is used. When the memory allocation is required, they both are used. Okay students. So next I'll be discussing one program example for you all. See. Example program to demonstrate how the constructors is automatically executed at the point of object creation. See, look at here. So first thing will be what? iostream.h, that is a header files. So next class name is there, right? See, this is a class name, class student, and this is a student, this is a constructor, that is constructor is automatically created at the time of object creation. So here the student object is S1, S2, S3 are the student object. Okay, students. So this is how the output will be there. Constructor called automatically at the object creation. Constructor called automatically at the object creation. Constructor called automatically at the object creation. So this is the output which is obtained from this program. See, because you are having S1, S2 and S3. S1, S2 and S3 as the objects. So you will be getting 3 outputs. Okay, so 3 times the constructor is called. So the constructor is what here? See, the constructor is student. So this student is called 3 times by this object S1, S2, S3. So whenever it is called, it goes to this function. Whenever this calls, this goes to this, this goes to this function. Whenever this calls, this goes to this function and executes the statements which is there inside. Whenever this calls, goes here and executes the 2 statements. Whenever this again it will call, it will go here and execute that. Whenever this calls, it go here and executes 3rd set of statements. Okay, students. So this is the concept behind the object creation. I hope you all are understanding. So next. So in the previous example, I explained on object creation. Is it right? So in this program, I will be explaining on initialization of the data member to an object. So for example, program I will take, see, program class number I will take. Okay. So and I am having one constructor. So and I am having a constructor and I am initializing an object A is equals to 100 and I am displaying the area. Okay, so area is also displayed. So next, in the void main, I am just creating in the void main, I am just creating what? Number. So that is what? Object. So whenever there is a call to the constructor will have actually what value now? A is equals to 100. So whenever this object is called, it goes and here it will object member function will have an access. Therefore, the object in display function you will get the value as A is equals to 100. So output we will see for this. So output is nothing but A is equals to 100. Okay, so in this class we discussed 2 programs. One is how constructor can be used for object creation with the help of the constructors. Next, how the object initialization can be done with the help of the object. Okay, students. So next, need of the constructor we should know. Okay, so need. What is the need behind the constructor? A constructor are named as constructors because they are getting called when an object is created. Okay, it is just a simple thing. When an object is created, constructor is called. Okay. The use of the constructor can be cleverly done, especially in those problems where it is necessary to initialize certain data members compulsorily. Okay, as I showed in this example, see here the data member is used. This A is equals to 100 is initialized. So like this in some program times there is a need where we can actually have to initialize the value. So at that time we can use this constructor. Instead of having a separate member functions for initializing, we can perform those operations inside the constructor itself. Is it right? Again and again wasting of calling member functions. For example, sum only I will take. So for this sum again I have to call. Again I have to call. So there is no need. If you are having this function, then you can actually perform whatever the action you want within the constructor itself. So if you are having any questions in this class, you can actually call me. Okay, students. I hope you all understood. Once again, I'll recall all the concepts which I discussed today. So first thing is you have to know the constructor definition. Constructor is what? It is a special member function. Automatically it is called when an object is created. And syntax you have to know. So always syntax, in syntax the class name will be what? The same as the constructor name, and it is always declared in the public part. So these are the two characteristics of constructors. And here there is no return type, there is no void anything. Okay, it should be kept in your mind. And then constructors are executed automatically if they never invoke. That also you have to keep it in your mind. Okay, so then I showed two examples for object creation and object initialization. Okay, see this object initialization. So next we discussed why we require these constructors, that is the need of constructors. So in the next class I will be discussing on the types of constructors. There are three types of constructors. So one is parameterized constructor, default constructor, and one more constructor is there, copy constructor. Default constructor is also known as zero parameterized constructors. What is it, and regarding that many programs are there, we will be discussing in the next class. Thank you all.